There's a spot in the dead center of the beat where you can park a kick drum note or a rim shot. So you can park that snare note in the dead center of the beat. But then there's some fudge factor on either side of the beat, where drummers will play early or they'll play late. That's the parking spot.
Guys, Nate back with another video within a video. Within a video? Today, we're going to introduce one of the most important aspects of playing drums, keeping time. After playing cleanly, it's the second secret reason great drummers are better than we are, in my humble opinion. Today, I present part of a brand new video I just recorded on how to get better at timekeeping. If you want the whole video with all the exercises, you can get that for free by clicking the link below the player and telling me where to send it. Within this video is part of my drumeo video, but I'll also expand on what I talked about at drumeo. Ready? Let's go. Greetings, and welcome to the second video of my mini course, Intro to Playing in Time. For this, I'm going to excerpt a little montage from my drumeo video.
The parking space. In what level of detail are you hearing where you place your notes around the beat? This is an analogy I like to use because there's a spot in the dead center of the beat where you can park a kick drum note or a rim shot. So you can park that snare note in the dead center of the beat. But then there's some fudge factor on either side of the beat, where drummers will play early or they'll play late. That's the parking spot. Your snare note is narrow, so it's like a motorcycle. But the beat, especially when you're playing with instruments with sustain, like bass guitar or guitar, is wide. So it's like parking a motorcycle in a parking spot. There's the dead center of the beat, and then there's a little margin on either side. For an average or intermediate drummer, it's like having a really big motorcycle in a really small spot. Like, we're lucky if we don't hit anything. Right? I'm all over the place, just trying to find the beat. Sort of like you had a gigantic motorcycle and you're trying to play it in the center of the beat. So a more advanced player will have a smaller motorcycle. It'll be easier to fit in the middle of the beat, just as if you had a smaller motorcycle, it would be easier to fit in a parking spot. Now, I hope that sounds good, but I bet it's not as good as Steve Jordan. I like this example because, again, no chops. But Steve Jordan has an even smaller motorcycle. Like, if you could see in 3-bit, you can play in the center, you can play a little early, a little late. He can see in like 16-bit. He can be 1/16 early or 3/16 late.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
What the drumeo folks didn't leave in the video was the whole step-by-step process for developing better time. Because your average drummer is not going to go from playing with a click on downbeats to playing on 16th offbeats in just one go. But first, let's explain what I'm talking about.
So the first metronome exercise I'm going to recommend for you guys is 16th note offbeats. And what that means is you're going to go ahead and set your metronome on 8s, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but you're going to shift where your ear hears it to 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. This is going to feel really janky at first, but try it for a few weeks and you'll be amazed how much bigger that parking space feels.
So that's the goal. First, we'll talk about why we do that. Then we'll talk about how to work your way up to it. Actually, let's just review this whole thing for a second. Most people practice with a metronome on the downbeat. I mean, I haven't taken a survey, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, when we play with the metronome on the beat, we're practicing locking up with it. But there are two problems. First, we get used to it. Then we don't hear the tiny flaws in our beat anymore. Kind of like that person's house where they own a lot of cats and to them it smells normal, but then you come over and... By the way, nothing against cats. I love cats. So it's the same with your playing. You get used to hearing the metronome in one spot. Then if it's a little early or a little late, you don't really hear it anymore just because you're used to it. So we change it so we can hear it with fresh ears. The other reason is you can follow the metronome if it's on the downbeat, which means you don't have to really think about supplying the time yourself. If it's on the offbeat, you have to make a guess every time you play the beat, and then the metronome will tell you if you're right or wrong. Got it? Now, let's get into some exercises. Let's stair-step you into hearing the metronome on offbeats. First, we're going to put the metronome on every eighth, and we're going to play this beat. The reason will become apparent in just a minute. So with this beat at one level, we're still hearing the pulse in the usual spot. Now for step 2, we're going to accent every 4th eighth on the metronome. Here's the trick though. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to hear the accent here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to play our prototype beat again with the metronome there. You're probably starting to see the reason for the hi-hat offset, right? Feeling off beats is easier in my experience if you can make part of your body or the beat line up with what you're hearing. Okay, part 3, going full send. Let's change the eighths on the metronome to quarters. You guys, Nate from the future back to let you know that for length, we're going to end that video here for now. But if you want to get the whole rest of the video completely free, just click the link below the player and tell me where to send it. And I'll send the whole thing to you. That's over 9 additional minutes of original footage with exercises, as well as the complete video my drumeo video is based on. If you want that, just click the link below the player. Bye for now, and see you again soon in another Lesson of the Week.